All right. Are we live? It says we're live. So now you just wait for people to show up. Terrifying. I absolutely despise doing live streams because I'm so terrified nobody's going to show up. So we're going to give people 10 minutes to show up. If nobody does show up to the live stream, then it's going to be very quick and easy. It's just going to be an unedited version of me doing essentially what I did with Beast Morphers. So sitting here and unedited, which is a bad thing because I have non-allergic rhinitis and it's really acting up right now and I have to sneeze. So I'm going to try really hard not to. Is anybody coming? Oh, one of my friends is actually, hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by to chat about Power Rangers Dino Fury, episode 1. We'll start chatting about it at 2:10 Central Time. What time zone are you in, Kingston? Hey, Dylan. I know what time zone Dylan's in. Dylan's a friend of mine. Going to talk about Dino Fury, which started today. And then I had a whole drama. You're in Central Time Zone as well. Great. So 2:10, Kingston. Had a whole drama about being able to watch Dino Fury. I keep wanting to say the other Dino seasons constantly. So earlier it was Dino Thunder, and now recently it's been Dino Charge. So if I accidentally say Dino Thunder or Dino Charge, we're not switching seasons, I promise. We are talking about Dino Fury. I mean, darn Dino seasons. No, I figured out it's like you can only stay for about an hour. That's okay, because I'm probably only going to be doing this for like an hour, hour and a half. So that's probably fine. But I don't even remember what I was saying. That's how it works, I guess. So we're just going to wait for some more people to possibly show up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Goodness, this phone. I might throw it on my bed. That way it doesn't bother us. I have my notes, just like I always did with Beast Morphers. So basically this time all I did, because it's so hard to like indicate what you like and don't like about something when it's the first episode, because it's all about like setup. So I basically just kept notes about like what was happening. And I'm still learning names. So I have like randomly places where I've just written down names to try and remind me of the new names. Because like I just keep wanting to call Void Knight Korag because he looks a lot like Korag. So from Mystic Force, which oddly enough, today is the 15th anniversary of Mystic Force. So there you go. Quite fitting that we have a new villain that looks like Korag. You saw a clip on Instagram. It seemed decent. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've got thoughts. Like, it's good overall. I like the storyline so far. It feels like it's going to be kind of very in spacey, which I really appreciate because, like, in space is one of my favorite seasons. So they're not in space, but Zato's backstory is very Andros, which I like. Nova will, nope, this way. Nova will be hanging out with us, I'm sure. You may hear my frog freak out from time to time. She's being very active today, so you might hear splashing coming from over here. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know. It just seems very in space, which makes me happy. Because I like Andros's backstory, and it feels very much like Andros's backstory in a way. But yeah, I like that. You had to watch on Daily Motion because you forgot it was on Central Time for some reason. Woke up at 7:30. Yeah, so I had kind of a similar story actually. So I don't have cable, I have Philo, and I had no idea that Philo wasn't going to record because I had it set up to record Power Rangers. Didn't realize it was specified Power Rangers Beast Morphers. So I now have Dino Fury being saved on Philo. But I couldn't so I spent like an hour this morning trying to chat with somebody at Philo, and I was very frustrated. And not just because they couldn't like give me access, like that's fine. I figured they weren't going to, but I thought, hey, I may as well ask. And I was like, I'm sure it's going to be a no, and I'll have to figure out how to watch it. But like, the customer service, like I have worked in customer service for so long that bad customer service really bothers the heck out of me. So like I was getting really upset with how bad the customer service is with Philo. Just saying. But yeah, so I chatted with people, web chatted with people on from Philo for like an hour, trying to just figure out if I can get access to something that is listed as video on demand, which theoretically should be able to watch on demand, right? Apparently not. Nickelodeon does not like those kinds of things. Nickelodeon likes people watching things less than legally, I guess. So I had to do that this morning, which makes me feel really guilty because that's something I just don't like to do myself. Like that's just something I don't do. But I support Power Rangers financially in many other ways. So watching one episode that way is going to be fine. I'm fine. But yeah, so I had to watch it. I can't remember what I watched it on. What did I watch it on? Hold on, wait. I need to bring up my messages again. Because somebody from the Power Rangers community shared it with me. It was Mega. Nickelodeon is accurate. Nickelodeon is really weird. I have never liked Nickelodeon. Well, I mean, that's not true. I liked Nickelodeon as a kid, but as an adult who learned a lot. Yeah, it's called mega.nz. So obviously that's a New Zealand website. But anyway, so that's where I watched it today. Somebody in the Power Rangers community, a buddy of mine in the Power Rangers community shared it with me. So I was able to watch it, but it was a very stressful morning because I woke up in time to watch it, and I could have watched it because I wake up unnaturally early. Like I woke up originally at like 5 something, and then I forced myself to go back to sleep and woke up a little after 6 because that's sleeping in for me. And I thought about it right before 7 o'clock. I was like, "Ooh, I could just sit down and watch it," but I'm not ready. And who knows? Because like, so I live in my parents' mother-in-law suite, and I usually have breakfast with my parents on. I usually have breakfast with my parents on the weekends. I go up into their unit and have breakfast with them, especially like after the quarantine, because like without them, I would be just quarantined with me and my zoo, because clearly I have like a zoo, but I digress. I am very happy that I am able to quarantine with my parents, but I live in their mother-in-law suite. I go into their unit for breakfast, and I was like, my luck is I'm gonna sit down at 7 o'clock and watch it, and then halfway through breakfast is gonna be ready because they know that I wake up ridiculously early. They wake up ridiculously early. So usually we're having breakfast ridiculously early for a Saturday. But they didn't. So I could have, but I didn't know that, but that would have been my luck kind of thing. So that's why I didn't watch it this morning when I could have and probably really should have looked at it this morning. But it's saved now. Future episodes will be fine with Philo. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, like I said, I wake up naturally really early. Like during the week I'm up at 4:30. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, especially for people who actually sleep in like normal humans, because I get that I'm not normal. Like, I understand that I am far from normal. Like, even when I was a kid, sleeping in for me was like 9. So, but yeah, I naturally wake up super early. So I was awake naturally at 6. So, but yeah, actually naturally at like something 5:30, I think, around there is when I woke up naturally. And then I just kind of forced myself back to sleep for another half hour. So my brain I've been always a morning person. I love you, Matthew. Yeah, no, I know you can't. You also stay up ridiculously late though. Like my body starts shutting down about 9, 10 o'clock. So like I'm usually asleep by like 11. So I tried watching a YouTube video last night in bed and I was like, my brain just shut off. I'm an old person. So, I mean, I'm 34, but be 35 this year, but feel like an old person. Okay, it is now 2:10. So let's go ahead and get started with the episode recap. So episode recap. Let's chat about how this episode went a little bit here. So we opened up with Amelia, the new Pink Ranger, though they keep pronouncing her name like O'Melia, like O'Melia. It's weird. But yeah, so we open up with Amelia. We learn right away that she is kind of a journalist, but she's a journalist that works for a very I can't remember the name, but it's like Buzz something. So it's clearly trying to make fun of BuzzFeed. But it's a new media kind of thing where people are making videos about cooking and makeup and things like that. So a very BuzzFeedy kind of company that she's working for. And she wants to prove that ghosts exist, which I love, to be honest. Amelia might already be my favorite character. Just because, like, she's so obsessed with ghosts, and I grew up in a haunted house. So whether or not you believe in ghosts or not, I don't care. I grew up in a haunted house. I know firsthand ghosts are real. So if there is a video on my channel talking about that, if you've not seen it. Anyway, so, but she wants to prove that ghosts are, thank you. Yes, that is the name of it. Buzz Blast. Thank you. Like I said, I'm still learning names of things, and sometimes certain names never stick. So just the character names stick, and that's usually all that matters for me. But yes, Buzz Blast. Thank you. Anyway, so, but she wants to prove that ghosts exist. So she wants to write articles about ghosts and things like that. Her boss does not seem super receptive of that. So she got special permission to go to, not Stonehenge, Dinohenge. There we go. She wants to go to Dinohenge to prove that ghosts exist because she thinks that place is going to be haunted. And her boss is like, no ghosts. She goes, it has to be factual. She's like, it will be factual because I'm going to prove it. So she goes with this big contraption that is supposed to recognize ghost energy. And she's in the woods and she comes across some ghost energy, or what she thinks is ghost energy, shoots a net at it to catch it, ends up catching our Blue Ranger, Ollie. So Ollie's being introduced. He is also in the woods, also looking for Dinohenge. His mother is already there. So we've got another parent-ranger relationship. I don't know how, obviously we don't know yet how like substantial her role is going to be in this, but we do have another parent being introduced in the first episode. So that's interesting. But they both walk to Dinohenge together, where they meet with Ollie's mother, who is trying to do some testing on these statues of dinosaurs. Nobody knows where these statues came from. They've been there for millions of years, theoretically. We learn later where those came from, but we don't know yet where those came from. And so we are, they're trying to conduct tests if you see what's going on. And they shoot the dinosaur statues, the eyes light up. And then they end up getting caught by a park ranger, which I was very concerned that they were actually going to name him Buzzkill, because if they were going to name an actual human character, something like that, I was going to be very upset, but that was not actually his name. Clearly just like a make fun of him name kind of thing. So the two future Rangers are left behind to clean up all of the scientific stuff. And yeah, I kind of wonder that too. Where did she get that? She said money well spent. So obviously she bought it somewhere. Maybe we'll learn. Who knows? We're going to get there because Kingston, if you don't know, I am a professional actor. I'm also a professional director. So acting is one of the most important things for me to actually mention when talking about Power Rangers. So we'll get there. So anyway, so the mother walks off. The other two are cleaning up everything. This is when Void Knight appears, or as I like to call him, Korag 2.0, because he looks so much like Korag, it bothers me. Anyway, so we have Void Knight showing up. He is looking for energy, and he finds it. And there's also this whole thing about there being these tunnels underneath the statues. He busts into the tunnels, and the two future Rangers kind of follow him in there. They find what is now obviously going to be the Power Rangers base, and along with that, a dinosaur. Do not remember the name of the dinosaur yet. Can somebody please remind me in the comments who's seen it? What the dinosaur's name is. We'll check back in a minute. Anyway, so we have this dinosaur who is obviously going to be kind of like an alpha character in some ways, probably also kind of like a keeper kind of position, right? Like in Dino Charge. So we have this dinosaur. They are I'm not sure if it's a male or a female dinosaur. They never made that clear. So they are trying to wake up Zato, who is morphed in this stasis pod, trying to wake him up, which of course is the Red Ranger, if you guys are unaware. And then we have, let me get caught up with where I'm at here with my notes, because I can't remember certain names, so I'm looking at it up. Okay, so there are these things called the Hengemen, which are these statues that are around the perimeter of the room. And they are, so the dinosaur tries to wake up the Hengemen, and Void Knight ends up stealing the thing that's going to wake them up. So clearly these obviously are going to be our like putties in a way. That might actually be one I will remember, because Hengeman is easy to remember, even though I forgot it just now, but whatever. So then Amelia and Ollie start to fight. They grab some sabers and they start to glow. The dinosaur throws these things at them once the morphers are given to them, and then they're able to morph into the pink and blue Rangers. Void Knight is finding these spore eggs that is what he was looking for. And it's very clear that we don't want these to be sent free. We don't want these to be out. We want them to be kept there, because it's what eventually becomes the monsters, clearly, is what they've made that very clear of in this particular episode. So Void Knight finds them and starts to try and steal them. The other two are trying to stop him. This is when Zato is finally released and is able to join in the fight. He's obviously more well-equipped to fight because he's been a Ranger for a while. And these two are just kind of thrust into Rangerhood, which I love when they do that. So those three fight together. The spore eggs are released like into the world. And one becomes a monster, which hangs out with Void Knight, leaves with Void Knight. We learn something about Zato's people on his planet, because he can read minds, so he knew immediately what their names were, and really about their personalities. So that was kind of interesting. And then we go into a history lesson about Zato's planet. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, it really felt very in space, because it feels a lot like Andros, which really, honestly, when they were first released, when and Dylan, don't worry, I'm not going to be spoiling anything. This is all like backstory for In Space, so it's not really much of a spoiler for In Space. But when Zato was first awoken, I kind of almost wanted him to do kind of an Andros thing, being like, you don't know what you're doing, so no, we don't want you to be Power Rangers. But he was actually really receptive, which I thought was really interesting. But we go into a history lesson that he was on his planet, and the spore eggs were attacking the planet and becoming massive monsters, and they basically decimated his planet. And then they all left for Earth, and then these ancient knights. So it's very Mystic Force, but also very In Space in a way. Follow them to Earth, and they're able to capture them. But Zato makes it clear that all the other Rangers were destroyed. He was the only survivor. They don't say destroyed. They don't say killed. They say lost. So who knows what that means, if he is in fact the only survivor and the others were all destroyed, or if maybe at some point they show back up. Maybe that's what the Gold Ranger is going to be. We don't know. So that I thought was a really cool backstory. I like when we have a backstory. It's one of the things that I love about In Space, because In Space was the first time we really got backstory. So I really like that. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't read my own handwriting for a second. So then the spore eggs, he kind of talks about them saying that they're going to go into hibernation, and we see that happening. We see them digging into the ground, and we see them going into gutters, and we see them going under cars and things like that to hibernate and eventually to become monsters. And that's kind of how we end the episode, is kind of on this weird little cliffhanger about kind of like where the series is going to go. We were introduced to the three rangers, so it's going to be very much like RPM, or what was it, or Beast Morphers, I guess, also, where it starts with 3 very early, and then eventually, like within a few episodes, I'm sure is going to end up having all 5. I don't know how long it's going to be before we get all 5. Is it going to be more like Dino Thunder and Ninja Storm, or is it going to be more like the RPM Beast Morphers kind of situation? So it'll be really interesting to see that, to see how long it takes to get to 5, and then because we do eventually build to 6, so it'll be really interesting to see when we build up to the 5. So that is the episode recap. I did that very quickly. I feel like that was very, very fast. Now we're going to talk about some opinions. I'm excited to hear about other people's opinions too. Yeah, so the henchmen were named that because they were supposed to protect Dinohenge. Clearly, that was obviously what was meant to do, but they are going to be the evil little pawns now, which I think is going to be very interesting. So let's talk about the acting. The only thing that kind of gets to me about the acting is the actor for Zato. He is very flat. I felt like he was really flat in this episode, which was really weird because I've watched clips, like, because I got to see, like, at some point somebody posted his acting reel, and watching that acting reel, he's not a flat actor. So I don't know the purpose of him being a flat actor in this, or maybe it was just this episode, or maybe it is a character thing, a character trait, because he is an alien. So, who knows what they're going to do. I mean, obviously with Christopher Kamen Lee, they had him dye really streaky blonde highlights into his hair every episode. And then they also had Justin Nemo bleach blonde his hair to play Zane. So they do have character, or actors do interesting things with either their looks or the acting if they're going to be playing aliens. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with that character. But I did feel like that acting was very, very flat, and I didn't love that. So hopefully that is not the case, because that's going to be really hard to watch, especially for our Red Ranger being really flat. But maybe that's something part of character development that they're going to do, that he's going to start out being kind of socially awkward and flat, and then eventually kind of integrate more into Earth human culture, I guess. I don't know. But I do agree with what Kingston said a little earlier, that Amelia's actress, I think, is probably so far the standout actor. She's really great. I like her, and I think Amelia's gonna be my favorite character. I don't know. It's too early. I haven't met the other 2 yet. I have not met the 6th Ranger yet. So obviously none of us have. But I really honestly like Amelia so far. She's fun. She reminds me of like Good Things About Zoe from Beast Morphers, where she's just kind of this just upbeat female character. I'm really hoping they do a lot more with her, especially with her job. I'm hoping that they do a lot of really fun things with her character. And I think the storyline is really cool. I do, like I said, I love, I mean, I'm a sucker for backstory. So if you're going to give me a backstory, especially one that's kind of dark, where you have characters that die before you even start the show, or very early on in the show, I think that's, you always got me with that. Like, backstories are great. So I like the setup so far. I gotta say, the stone statues of the dinosaurs were real fake looking. Like, real fake looking. So that was something that wasn't great. I mean, obviously that's a budget thing. But But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm hopeful because obviously like this is Hasbro's first time doing pre-production. They didn't do pre-production for Beast Morphers. They did all of the production for Beast Morphers, but they did not do the pre-production, which involves story creation and casting and things like that. Obviously they did little casting here and there, but the main character casting, which I mean, the casting for Beast Morphers was fine. Obviously, this is also Simon Bennett's first season as showrunner. He did some of the best, I think, he directed some of the best episodes of Beast Morphers. So I am also hopeful that Simon Bennett may be a good showrunner because Chip Judd really did not shine during Neo Saban. He really did not shine, which is weird because like Judd Lynn did some of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers in general. Like he did In Space. So he ran In Space, he ran Lost Galaxy, he ran Time Force. He ran half of RPM. So like he's run some of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers. So it's really weird to me that he just did not shine during Neo Saban. But like it'll be interesting to see if it was a Neo Saban thing, if it was a Judd Lynn thing, or if it was a Nickelodeon thing, because who knows? Nickelodeon may be the reason why Neo Saban was really cruddy because they're keeping it on Nickelodeon, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping that after their contract was over, which I think ended after Beast Morphers, I was really hoping they'd take it streaming. But then Hasbro just took Power Rangers off of Netflix instead of streaming at all. So they went from what I wanted them to do, which was streaming, to like the exact opposite of just taking Power Rangers off of streaming completely, except for the first season of MMPR and then like Ninja Steel and Beast Morphers, I think is what they still have on Netflix right now. So now I'm buying all the seasons on DVD. Thank you, Shout Factory. But yeah, so I think that this is going to be really interesting. And yeah, I mean, I agree here with Dylan. I'm excited that this has a backstory. I think that's a good sign too. Like I said, the seasons that have backstories tend to be my favorites. So like In Space has its backstory with KO-35 and that tragedy. And then Lost Galaxy has a history with Miranoi. And so there's a lot of really good there's a lot of like really, really good backstory. And like Time Force has a good backstory. And Mystic Force has a good backstory. So like I like when there's a backstory. You got me. RPM has a backstory. So and I love how the first part of RPM is actually like telling us the backstories of all the characters. Like that's my favorite thing. I mean, yeah. Ninja Steel isn't terrible. I mean, it's terrible, but like it at least has redeeming qualities, unlike Samurai. But I digress. Ninja Steel is how I learned to hate Chip Lynn, whatever. He credits himself as Chip Lynn now, so I don't know like the story with that. But I grew up like when I was a kid, he was Judd Lynn, and so I just say Judd Lynn. Still, I don't say Chip Lynn, but I know like people from that production say Chip, and people from the old productions says Judd, because I am friendly, not friends, but like friendly, like we hang out whenever we're at the same convention, friendly with a former executive producer of Power Rangers. So, but yeah, so I don't know. What are other people's opinions? I think I might have wine. I don't have wine. Just kidding. But soon I'm getting wine, I guess. Because, 3:00 is the right time to get wine. I don't know what is happening behind my partition at the moment. Anyway. What are other people's opinions? Are there any other opinions out there about what's going on? Thoughts? Like I said, I'm hopeful. I mean, it's really hard to say like what you think of a season right away, but hopefully this new season won't be added to your reasons why you drink. I mean, Judd Lynn is a big reason why I drink, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so anybody who doesn't know that story, my story time videos, I'm drinking a glass of wine because of the reasons why I drink. Responsibly, by the way. I do drink responsibly. But yeah, so hopefully not. I hope it's good. Kingston, you liked it? That's great. Is there anything about it that you didn't like? Anything out there? Anything about the production that you weren't like, hey, this wasn't great? What were some of your thoughts? Let me know. I mean, fair. There was a storyline idea that I had in my head for a video where I was literally going to like get tipsy. I'm Polish. It's hard to get me drunk. But I was going to get tipsy, and watch like a season of Power, or like an episode of Power Rangers I don't like, an episode of a season of Power Rangers I don't like. Like that was a thought process in my head. Ended up happening just in real life. My mom and I watched an episode of Samurai once, after she finished RPM with me, and we watched the episode of Samurai that Scott was in, and we were both pretty tipsy at the time, so that was great. This is me with Beast Morphers. It had so much potential. So much potential. There was so much potential with Beast Morphers. And it was so funny because it would be like, oh, it's going there, it's going there, it's going there. Oh, just missed it. Just missed its potential. There were just so many things that could have been like pushed just a little bit farther with Beast Morphers, and it would have been so good. So I'm hoping this is good. Hi, Kitty Flumpin. Long-time subscriber. You are amazing. I adore you. Different Scott, the Red Ranger from RPM. Not Scott McNeil, who I'm also friendly with. You didn't like some of the cringe dialogue? Yeah, the dialogue. I mean, I get. Again, for me, it's not enough. I studied film in college. That's what my degree is in. You can actually see it, like literally, like right there. That's my bachelor's degree, the really expensive piece of paper that I own. And part of my film degree, the only real thing that I did with production was directing and directing for film, and then screenwriting. So for me, screenwriting is somewhat important, but the biggest piece of it is that it has to be conversational, which is definitely a problem in Power Rangers, if I'm honest. But that's one of the big reasons why, I mean, luckily this community has been really open with me, really like friendly with me, but like, I don't like a season that a lot of other people in the community like, which is Lightspeed Rescue. I don't like it. And a big reason why is because the script is not super conversational. So I'm going to give it a few episodes before I start like deciding whether or not the script is good. Because one episode for me isn't enough. Just because obviously there's going to be different writers. There's going to be different directors who are going to allow people to ad-lib things and have fun with it, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with the writing. But yeah, there was some cringe dialogue. There was some cringe dialogue, but so far it's conversational. Like it doesn't feel awkward. It doesn't feel like the actors are feeling awkward about it. It definitely feels like there is seriously something happening behind my partition. I just don't understand. But yeah, so that the writing, we'll see. Jury's still out on the writing. Oh, hey, I have wine. So 2:30 and I have wine. It's fine. But yeah, so honestly, the writing for me is still jury's still out. I'll give a few episodes before I decide whether or not the writing is atrocious. But that definitely some cringe dialogue. Definitely. Oh yeah, so this was from a recent video, I think my Pink Ranger video, where yeah, that the eventually I'm gonna do the deep dives. Lightspeed Rescue is gonna be really late on that because I have to buy the DVDs now and I have to rewatch them because like I sit down, like what I did with my Turbo episode or my Turbo video, which is I sat down and I literally wrote out every single episode tags, time tags, all that stuff. In to try and like make sure that I could put in clips and whatnot. I've decided not to do that because the turbo video not only drove me crazy because of that, because it was a lot to edit, but also Toei and Hasbro came at me for that video. Hasbro walked away from that because they're like, oh yeah, it's fair use. Sorry, never mind. That was the bots. And then Toei's like, no. And the part that Toei like has, like, that's my favorite part of this, is the piece of the video that Toei has flagged for copyright isn't even their footage. Like, that's my favorite part. I mean, it's Elgar and Rygog, so like clearly like still Car Ranger characters, but not even their footage. It's my favorite. Love when companies don't understand fair use, but like I give other companies in other countries kind of a slide with that, because fair use is written differently in every country if they have fair use. So anyway, is there a particular point within a PR season, Power Ranger season, where you would prefer all 5 Rangers to be introduced by? Or do you prefer them introduced earlier rather than later? Or do you prefer them to be slowly added? It kind of depends. Because like, so the pattern, there is a process. So there are some seasons that start out with 3 Rangers and then they eventually go to either 5 or 6. So like Ninja Storm builds to 6, Dino Thunder builds to 5. And they both started, I mean, I guess Tommy became the Black Ranger, spoiler alert. Tommy became the Black Ranger pretty quick. So they still built to 4 pretty fast. And then they had the White Ranger who was evil for a little while. And then, you know, Ninja Storm was kind of similar, where it started with 3, but they built slowly. Those 2 seasons, I feel like, built a lot slower, where like RPM, I mean, within a few episodes, we had built to the 5. RPM builds to 7 Rangers. So they start with 3 and build to 7. But that was a very quick add. So we had 3 in the first like few episodes, and then we add Dylan as the Black Ranger. And then we add the Green Ranger. And then about halfway through the season, we add the Silver and Gold Rangers. So it kind of depends on how it's written into it. So I really don't have an opinion as to what I prefer, but it has to come down to, it has to be correctly written in. That's one of my issues with Beast Morphers. I mean, Steel's great. Like, don't get me wrong. I love a good Pinocchio story, but you know, a character that's not a real boy wants to be a real boy. Anyway, but I still feel like that was kind of a weird storyline, if I'm honest. I don't like it. I don't love it. It's fine though. How can people like wine? It's disgusting. I don't know. I like the bitterness of a dark, deep red wine. I really like the taste of it. I prefer it. I don't drink white wine. White wine is disgusting to me. But again, I'm Polish, so I have a very weird. And I'm Norwegian, so I'm Polish and Norwegian, which both ethnicities have very interesting taste palettes, if I'm honest. Norwegians eat dried cod soaked in lye for 3 days. So that gives you any idea of what my taste palette is. Come to my house. Not that you know where I live. Come to my house and I'll share my wine. It's fine. It's very good. I like it. I found them, and I found them on Prime, believe it or not. So they may have just been sold out when you were looking, because I know like there was a big like push to buy them right after or right before Power Rangers left Netflix. Like people were just buying them like crazy. So that might be why you couldn't find Lightspeed Rescue, because again, it's a very popular season, which I don't understand, but I accept, because people all have different taste levels and, you know, like what you like. Just don't be a jerk about it, kind of thing. But it's a very popular season, so it's very possible that it just sold out when you were looking, because I found it on Amazon Prime even. So I haven't purchased it. That is not a thing I have done yet, but it's a thing that I'm planning on doing at some point. I'm starting with the seasons that I love, which I'm pretty close to done with now. I have In Space, I have Lost Galaxy, I have Time Force, I have Mystic Force, I have RPM, and Jungle Fury. That's the other one I have. So I have all the ones that I like love, and then next round is going to be the ones that I haven't watched in a long time and want to rewatch. So probably Dino Charge and Operation Overdrive. Yeah. No, that's Polish, friend. That's Polish. There's always alcohol in the house because I'm Polish. Actually, there's always vodka in the house because I'm Polish. Which is a point of contention with Polish people with Poles, because people often think that Russians invented vodka. They did not. The Polish did. So, but as a friend of mine said, a really good friend of mine said to me one day, he goes, yeah, well, the Poles may have invented vodka, but the Russians perfected it. And I was like, you've not had good Polish vodka. Yeah, I do. I do want to, I mean, I'm going to, because in order for me to do my deep dives, I have to. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to do my deep dives in order and then just rewatch every season in order again, which I've not done since the 20th anniversary. So we're nearing the 30th now. So it's been a minute. But yeah, there you go. His name is Ziggy. Dylan's Ziggy. And I remember watching RPM with you. Was fun. We were focusing on Iggy a lot. Oh my God. Is that girl a new Power Ranger? Is Iggy Brit? I don't know. Girl, Ziggy's a dude. What is going on, Dylan? You don't remember much about RPM. We never finished it though. Didn't they announce who the Gold Ranger is going to be already? I thought they already announced who that was going to be. Or is that still just a rumor? I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, honestly, it, as long as the character is well written, I'm almost like wondering if one of the, like, I think I said a little earlier, if maybe the ancient warriors are not actually gone and that the Gold Ranger is going to be somebody from Zato's planet. I think that'd be interesting. Definitely something that they've done before. So we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know. I really don't have an opinion as long as the actor is good. Hey, Cosmo. Cosmo's come to join. You're not going to show your face on camera? Where's your face? Right there. There's his face. Camera can't see it. Anyway, yeah, okay. Yeah. So Tenaya 7, I guess I was just confused about how you were writing that. So yeah, Tenaya 7, you are correct. Evil girl that fights the Rangers, Tenaya 7. Love her. She's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Love her. But yeah, so going back to Dino Fury, I think that so far it seems decent. It seems same, on par with Beast Morphers as far as acting goes so far. Like I said, my only real issue is Zato's actor seems really flat. So it'll be really interesting to see why. Because again, watching his acting reel, that doesn't seem like something that he does normally. He definitely has a good range. So it's really weird to me that he was really flat. Do I like the opening of Dino Fury? Oddly enough, one of the videos I'm filming today is my ranking all openings. I did not put Dino Fury on here on the list. I only did ones of completed seasons. So oddly enough, that video is being filmed today. I don't know. It's an interesting opening, but I do have to say one thing. I am very glad it's not halfway through the episode like Beast Morphers was. So thank you actually for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that earlier. Like I do appreciate that was just right at the beginning. Right at the beginning. So I do appreciate that tremendously. Thank you, Hasbro and Nickelodeon, for not making it halfway through the episode. Because that was one of my biggest things about Beast Morphers. The theme song would come on and be like, oh, what timestamp is it at now? And it was usually at like 8 minutes, like right before the first commercial. And I'm just like, this is so, like, the point of an opening theme is you have either it right away at the beginning, or you have a teaser, which is very short, leading to some sort of inciting incident generally. And then you play the opening and then it's good, but it's like half the dang episode. So I do like that this one was at the very, very beginning. And I did appreciate that. But the opening, I don't know. I prefer openings that don't have a big Go-Go Power Rangers motif to it. That's why I really like Time Force's opening and Dino Thunder's opening, Mystic Force's opening. There's definitely like a Disney just in general. I mean, obviously I know Time Force isn't Disney, but the Disney openings in general, I think, were some of the strongest openings. I mean, aside from SPD and RPM, but I don't like those openings very much. But I do like the visuals of it. So for me, and I'll talk about this in the video that I'm actually filming later after the live stream, I'm going to film it. But for me, openings are just as much the song and the lyrics and the visuals that they choose and how they choose to like show the characters. So I do like the visuals. I think the visuals are really good. The music itself is really interesting. I wish it was longer. And then also the song itself just is so unimaginative. So it'll probably be above RPM and SPD. But I love RPM. I love SPD. Don't love their openings. Did you watch Beast Morphers? Yeah, well, they weren't really teasers. They were just half of the episode. It was so dumb. It was just stupid. It was just dumb. I didn't love it. Didn't like it. Didn't want to see it. But yeah, so for me, oh, no, you're joking. Got it. I mean, you're not wrong. But anyway, sorry, my non-allergic rhinitis is really acting up today. So if you see me sniffle or like, yeah, so you weren't here when I said it. I think Amelia is going to be my favorite character, but we'll see, because I have not met the other two Rangers yet. The Black and Green Rangers, obviously, we've not met them yet. And from what it looks like our Green Ranger is, I mean, obviously the Green Ranger is gender bending. I hate saying that word, or that term, but gender bending, because the Sentai, it's a male, and in Dino Fury, it's going to be a female Ranger. So we'll see, because I tend to navigate more towards the less feminine women. If I like the female character the best, I tend to gravitate more towards the less feminine character, woman character. But I do really love Amelia so far. She is kind of me in a very weird way, and I love it, and I'm here for it. She likes ghosts, and I like ghosts, so I'm here for it. SPD's theme song is great. So I love the visuals of the SPD. Again, this is a video I'm filming, so stay tuned to at some point in the future my channel. I have to figure out when that's actually going live. I think the next, I don't know. I scheduled it out, so probably, I don't think I have another Power Rangers video, so probably the 4th. So 2 weeks. So a week from Thursday is when it's probably gonna go live. But I love the visuals of the SPD theme song, but I don't like the song. Like, lyrics mean something. Like, lyrics are important to me, and there aren't enough lyrics, so can't grasp it. But yeah, so just to answer your question, Lanzo, I really, really love Amelia so far. Who is your favorite character so far? I mean, it's been one episode, but like, who are you gravitating towards of the 3 that we've been introduced to so far? I'm curious. But I think Amelia might be my favorite character, which is so weird, because like, it's very rare for a pink ranger to be my favorite character. It's happened twice, technically 3 times, but twice. We're not going to talk about the other time. Ollie, you like Ollie? I think Ollie's going to be fun. I think he's going to be very fun. So I'm excited to see where he's going to go. Do I like the Ryu Slogger theme? I've not seen it. So I only watch the Sentais when they've been licensed here. That's just a personal decision that I make. I've never sat down to watch it. Obviously, the theme song I could probably sit down to watch. That's one I've not watched. So I do want to watch it. So at some point, I'll have to do that and share my opinions on Twitter, share my feelings on Twitter, probably. But yeah, I've not watched it, or we could just watch it now because like I can do that. Let me go find it on the YouTubes. Let's watch it together. Ryu opening. Hey, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so this is that's 4 minutes. Here we go. This is going to be more realistically correct. Okay, I need to put my headphones on now. I don't know where it's going to play through. We're going to have to figure this out. It's going to come through my microphone. This is going to be, I'm going to. It's coming through my microphone. So now I get to hear myself talk. So let's figure this out here. So we're going to, I got to remember how to do this. I don't remember how to do this. Dylan, how do I do it? I don't remember how to do this. Share screen. Share screen. We want this one. Share. There. Okay. So let's go ahead and watch this together. Let me know if you guys can hear it. I've not seen this, so I don't know. Oh, there's kind of more. Okay, so a lot of what they have in Dino Fury is from the Sentai, which doesn't surprise the heck out of me. Oh gosh, do not automatically play all opening themes from Power Rangers. We don't need that today. That's fine. Yeah, so I like it. That was kind of a cool, but again, it's really rare for me to dislike anything from Japanese anything. The one like anime I've seen that I don't like I don't like the opening for is Now and Then Here and There. Other than that, it's really rare for me to find an opening I don't like from anything Japanese. So, but yeah, so I like it. It was good. Look it up. Sorry you guys couldn't hear it. I don't know how to make the sound work because I don't know anything about life. It's fine. But yeah, that was a good theme. Again, it's really rare for me to find. Oh, the Zeta theme. Yeah, the Zeta theme. I try to forget about Zeta in general. Don't like Zeta. Anyway, we don't talk about anime on this channel anymore. It's too triggering for me. Gives me lots and lots of anxiety. I have wine for it though, so that's one of the reasons why I drink. Yeah, I've not watched Kamen Rider yet. I need to. Isn't it that available on Shout? I think it's also available. Like I can buy the DVDs because that's done through Shout. But yeah, I've noticed that in Sentai just in general from the seasons of Sentai that I have seen because I've been able to watch Jetman through Hurricaneger. Now because that's what's out at the moment, which really makes me sad because I've always wanted to see Abba Ranger and they stopped right at Abba Ranger, and I'm like, come on. But yeah, so but yeah, I've noticed that in Sentai generally, just in like just normally, I notice that in the Sentai is that they tend to be in very similar places, and it doesn't surprise me that Kamen Rider would be the same. I don't know. I actually don't know that, honestly. I think maybe a couple of them are. I don't know. I honestly do not know that answer. What's my favorite part of the episode? Your favorite part was when they meet Zato for the first time. I don't know what my favorite part of the episode was. I think probably just the whole sequence of when they became Power Rangers, because I just think that was definitely something that I really liked when I saw that moment. Because the visuals around it were cool, like how the camera was moving, how the characters were moving, kind of okay, so again, this is something that I'm filming later today. I'm a classically trained actor, which really means not a heck of a lot, but it does in the way that my training for acting just took place. So being classically trained is a very specific terminology for how you were trained. So I was trained in stage combat because in order to be classically trained, you have to be trained in stage combat to an extent. And so something that I really enjoy are fight scenes, just in general, because they're very specific on like the blocking of everything. And so I really, really love watching that. And I was really impressed, honestly. Not necessarily about the fighting, because there really wasn't a heck of a lot of out of costume fighting, but the way that they were able to move everybody in such a way that they were able to avoid certain things. I liked it. I liked how they did certain things about the movement. If it really felt like a dance, it felt like a dance. And I really liked that. So that whole sequence, I think, is probably my favorite. That's great. Your friends and you watch Kamen Rider together, and you play name the location, basically recalling scenes from other series that happened in the same spot. Yeah, that's very common. And I think now I have snacks. But yeah. Thanks. Ooh, my favorite kind of snacks. Mm-hmm. This has become a mukbang real fast. Anyway. So these are I only got 2 of them though. These are my favorites. They're the little croissants, but they're like it's cream cheese and jalapenos in the middle. So it's like jalapeno poppers, but with the little croissants. And then these are also croissants. Oh, maybe I had 3 of them. I don't know what this is though. These are also croissants. I don't know if it's true, but someone on YouTube said that Jordan Fight will play the Gold Ranger. Yeah, that's what I had heard too. I think that was released by Illuminerdi, which I have beef with them, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to start anything. But there was Twitter beef for a minute with me and them because I called them out on crap. The way that they present information bothers me. But that's fine. They can release information however they want, but don't release something as fact when you don't know it to be true as fact. Anyway, but that's how I feel. I don't want to start anything. But yeah, I know that that's a rumor. I don't know if it's ever been officially announced that way though, but that's definitely something that I have heard through the grapevine as well. But I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. I can't remember names very well. It takes me a minute to remember names. So a lot of times you'll notice I'll go, the actor who plays this person, because I tend to forget names very easily. So so I don't remember the actors' names right away. That's something that comes later. I still don't remember most of the actors' names. Jacqueline was Zoe. Abraham is Nate, but I keep wanting to say Adam, not Abraham. Ravi's name. What was Ravi's actor's name? I know it. Jazz is Ravi's actor's name. I mean, so like it's names and me don't go very well together. I've never done that well. So usually the names that I do remember is like Christopher Kamen Lee, because that was like 20 some odd years ago. Austin St. John, Jason David Frank. Apparently I remember 3 person names or 3 named people, 3 first named people. I don't know. But yeah. So a lot of times I don't remember the actors' names. But yeah, so that is what I've heard as well. But I don't know if that's ever been officially released by Hasbro or by the Power Rangers Twitter or whatever. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward, but we'll see. Johnny Young Bosch, that's another one with 3 names, but I also know Johnny Young Bosch because I was really heavy into Power Rangers. clearly. I was really heavy into anime for a really long time. And obviously he does a lot of anime now. But yeah, that's another 3-name person that I remember the name of very easily. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. Any other thoughts? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's his full name. Accurate. He does have an amazing voice. What really threw me off, so I worked with Jeff Nimoy once. Dylan did too. But Dylan and I were guest relations. I was head of guest relations at a convention. And there is a whole story time about that if you guys want to check that out. But and what threw me off when Jeff and I were talking about Trigun was the fact that Johnny was still a Power Ranger when they did Trigun. And I was like, but that came out when I was in high school. And he's like, yeah, we did in like the mid-90s though. And he was still a Power Ranger. And I was like, that's wild. Wild. I had no idea it took that long to release it. You've always been interested in knowing the actors' names from a very young age. You would say the names out loud while watching the openings of sitcoms. Yeah, I actually did that too when I was young, which is why I remember a lot of actors' names from like a long time ago. I can rattle off actors' names from a long time ago, but for some reason it just doesn't stick now as an adult. I remember dates. Dates are my thing. I remember dates very easily, but names are tough. So like you'll notice too, because I'll be like, the putty things, the putty things. I don't remember what they're called, but the putty things. Or like the dinosaur. I don't remember the name of the dinosaur. It took me a long time to remember Kendall from Dino Charge. I always just called her Miss Morgan because I didn't remember Kendall. And then I'll second guess myself and then I'll go, it is Kendall, right? I don't know because again, I don't know enough about the Sentais that are like most recent. I know people really want a specific one done, but it's like it's another 10 character one or whatever. And I mean, I don't love it because again, I don't know anything about the Sentai itself. It could be the most amazing story ever, but the suits are important to me. I don't like the suits from that one because none of the helmets match. It seems. And I don't love it, but like I don't remember the name of it, but it is one that like happened relatively recently. I do like the suits though from the one that is either going on right now or just ended not too long ago. I don't know. Let's bring up Sentai seasons because I don't remember the names of them very easily. Let's actually put in Super Sentai because Sentai is just okay. Well, let's bring up the Wikipedia page for Super Sentai and look it up because I don't remember anything. But 2022 is probably going to be Dino Fury again because that's the way that they've been doing it with Neo Saban. So they're probably going to do the same thing. They're probably going to do 2 seasons of Dino Fury and then move on to something else. So let's look at it. It must be this one. Is it this one that like I like the suits of? I don't know. Has a girl Green Ranger. That's all I know. I need to Google image search. Yeah, Q Ranger I think is the one that people really want to have be done. Yeah, it's Kira Major. Kira Major is the one that I like the suits of. With the girl Green Ranger. I mean there's gonna be a girl Green Ranger for this season too, but like in the Sentai, she's a girl. I like that because it's like got like roads along their suits. I don't know. I like their suits a lot. And then maybe it is that one, Q Ranger. I don't know. Okay, yeah, the helmets in Q Ranger were all different. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. That just it bothers me. I don't know why it shouldn't, but it does. Bring it up. Q Ranger. Okay, let's Google it because the Power Ranger Wikipedia is not helping me right now. Yes. Here, I'll actually bring up the suits that we're talking about. I think this is the one that people are like, why don't you adapt this one? I'm trying to find like a decent shot. Like a decent high quality shot. I think this is the one. I don't know. I think this is the one that people are online always talking about. Wanting this one here. I think here, we'll do it that way. This one I think is the one that people have been wanting to see, but I don't know. I don't like helmets that don't match. It bothers the heck out of me. I like the suits in that one too. I think they're cool. I think they're solid. Like, so maybe that one. There's also a rumor going around saying that they're not going to do Sentai anymore, but again, nobody's ever released any specific information on that aside from just rumor mill, but yeah, I mean, it looks like the color is interesting because there's a lot of colors. Like, for example, orange is not a normal color in Power Rangers. I mean, SPD, but it's not a normal color. Not a normal color. And that one also has like blue or a Girl Green Ranger. Didn't notice that before. So it's a pretty big cast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them. I mean, it's fine, but I don't like the suits because I don't like helmets that don't match. So I don't know. I'm weird. It's fine. I know I'm not normal. Oh, you even said that. Q Ranger had a green girl who was chameleon themed. Yeah, I noticed that in this picture. I noticed the skirt. That's how you can tell when it's a female character, except for Deca Ranger and / SPD, because none of the suits had skirts in that one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I had to choose, I would probably say Kira Major. I think Kira Major is interesting. I like the suits. So if I had to choose like one that I would want to see, I would probably say Kira Major. Okay. Bye, Dylan. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. Is it good? I'm glad it's good. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's really, really good. It's one that I would like to see in the future if at any point we ever get that far with releasing Sentai. Shout. Hasbro, come up with some kind of solution so that we can actually have Sentai released again. Because again, it's just a personal decision that I made. It's a personal decision that I have. I do not judge anybody for their choice anymore. I used to. I do not judge anybody's choice in how they watch anything anymore. It's my personal opinion. If you want to know more about my personal opinion on that, I will gladly share it. But I will not force my thoughts and opinions on somebody else. I have grown. Megaforce came out in 2013. Kyoroyer came out the same year, and it was Dino Charge in 2015. And Ninja came out the same year in 2017 and was Ninja Steel in 2019. It was Beast Morphers. Yeah, I know that they weren't doing it necessarily, and I know Beast Morphers they went back for. And I wasn't thrilled about those suits at first either, but those suits grew on me as time went on. But I didn't love those suits either. I thought those suits were weird looking, but those suits grew on me. And that one is Go Busters. Yes, I have that right here. So Go Longer, and then Shinkenger, and then Go Sager, and Gokaiger. And then it was Go Busters, which is Beast Morphers. And then it was Kyuraiger, which was Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge. And then they did not adapt Tokyuger. And then Ninja, which was Ninja Steel. And then that's when they went back for Beast Morphers. So they went back quite a few years for that. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what we get going forward. I know people are really pushing for an animated series, but I feel like that takes away a lot of the fun of Power Rangers. Like an animated series, fine, but not like main Power Rangers season. I don't want that to be a main Power Rangers like, companion season. Fine. Companion story. Go for it. It'd be a really good way. Like I've always wanted to see, even though I'm really done with Tommy, the only thing I really want to see with him is the relationship between him, Anton, and Smitty that led to Dino Thunder. That's what I want to see. If I see anything. And that the only way we could do that, honestly, because we can't make Tommy younger. We can't make Jason David Frank younger, but we can if he's animated. So, I mean, miniseries, a companion season, whatever it may be, straight to DVD, straight to video, streaming, whatever it may be. I would like to see that, but not main storyline Power Rangers. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see animated, personally. Yeah, so the way that it used to go was the season would be the Sentai season, and then the following year is when the Power Ranger season would come out. Which I think is really funny when I was watching Mega Ranger. And there was an episode of Mega Ranger that was a Turbo storyline, and I was like, oh, that's where they came up with that idea. It was really funny. They stole it from the Sentai before they did In Space with Mega Ranger. So I thought that was very interesting, very fun. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm very curious. It's gonna be very interesting to see how much Sentai they use in Dino Fury. I know they didn't use a ton in Beast Morphers, from what I've understood. I was able to pinpoint certain times where they had, where they did show, where it was clear that it was Sentai footage they were using, because everything around them was in Japanese. But it'll be really interesting to see what they do going forward, how they're going to, how much Sentai they're going to use. Because like I said, I know they didn't use a lot with Beast Morphers. I saw a breakdown of how much Sentai footage they were going to use, or how much Sentai footage they did use in Beast Morphers. Exactly my point. Part of the charm of Tokusatsu is that they are live action. And so throwing in something that is going to be animated is going to take away a lot of its charm, a lot of what I love about it. Like, I mean, I'm still pretty new to Tokusatsu in general. Like, obviously I've liked Power Rangers for a really long time. But I didn't realize that this was like a whole genre in Japan. Had no idea that Tokusatsu was this thing in Japan. And so now I'm kind of investigating more Tokusatsu stuff, and I love it. Like, it's just fun, and I just really appreciate it. So gold or pink and gold are the only colors where opposite gender has never been that color. I mean, are you talking like gender bending just in general? Because so far in Power Rangers, it's only been yellow and now green. But yeah, so there's been a girl Red Ranger, there's been a girl Blue Ranger, there's been girl Yellow Rangers. Yeah, there's never been a male Pink Ranger, and I'm holding out for it. I'm here for it if they decide to ever do that. I don't love the color pink, but I also don't want colors to be gendered anymore. I think that's silly to gender colors. And back like 100 years ago, pink was a male color, at least in the United States. So it changed. Now you're leaving too, Matthew. Okay, have fun. Enjoy your lunch. I know I need to probably actually end this so that I can actually eat, because I'm not going to actually eat on camera. I mean, I've done it, but I don't want to do that today. So I'm probably going to end it soon anyway. But yeah, so I mean, but yeah, I would not like to have a live action, or sorry, I would not like to have a cartoon and animated Power Rangers. Like, again, doing something that would involve, backstory of former characters. I'd like to see that, and that would have to be animated or done in comic book form. But I just have no interest in a animated Power Rangers, like full Power Rangers season. That just takes away some of its, like, honestly, just takes away from it. I don't want to see it. And people who do want to see it, maybe it's just because they don't really care about the whole concept of tokusatsu. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, I think that's where we're going to end it today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. I'm going to try and do this, or I am going to do this every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. So come on back and hang out with me next Saturday where we talk about episode 2. We'll get deeper into the story here. We'll hopefully know more about how this storyline is going to go. Usually I only give like 3 episodes before I'm like, okay, this is crap. But I will still watch it because it's Power Rangers, and that's kind of what my content partially is these days. So, I'll continue watching it, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. Let's go for it. Toku shows are how a lot of younger, mostly male actors get their foot in the door in the entertainment industry. And that's really interesting. I didn't know that. That's something about Japanese culture I didn't know. No, I mean, some actors in Power Rangers do get pretty far, like Johnny Young Bosch has gotten pretty far, but for the most part, I've not seen them go very far, except for guy who played, what's his name, Andrew Gray, played Troy in Megaforce. He's like in a reality show now. Bye, everybody. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for showing up. I was concerned nobody was going to. So thank you for showing up, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.